We're not gonna slander. I just have one question before I get out of here. And I just need to know, like, all right. So, are you clear on why this is problematic? Can you reflect back to me after tonight why this is problematic to you? So we can making sure that when we leave here that you understand why this is problematic, so it doesn't happen again. Because if there's any confusion and it's back in there, something of this nature or this caliber is back in there again, then we're gonna be back here. So we need to know that you understand why this is problematic. Can you explain to me why?
Again, you guys got to bear with me a little bit because this has been a lot to take in, so I'm trying to process and reflect the best I can right now. What I'm getting from you guys is that the issue extends beyond just that the material itself was offensive, and more so the fact that you don't want Pipe Dream and Binghamton to be represented by that type of opinion being printed. Even if it's her own, it's still on these pages. And or is it the bathroom wall thing that stuck with me?
I don't know if I could repeat what I said earlier. We should have made it a bit more clear at the outset that the two or three specific things in the article is mostly why we're here. It's the comparison of an entire race of people to fictional characters who themselves historically were based on, I believe, people of color. Like the whole Oompa Loompa idea, like came from slavery itself, but that's besides the point. That comparison offended and like was seen as embarrassing by a lot of people. The charge at the end of the article that individuals who have people of color who bring up criticism of whatever events that was talked about the actress, that those people are racist. Now that's a big charge to make. It's not like that's just some. It's not as like vanilla as whatever opinion on the dress itself or the costume itself. That's another reason why we're really here, and like there has to be a separation recognized between the opinion that was expressed about the costume and people's reaction to the costume, and the fact that the article is explicitly telling people of color how to feel. It's an issue that people of color are upset about, and a white woman is saying that things should be felt like X, Y, and Z. It's something that's difficult, perhaps, for many people to recognize as a thing that's coming out of an article who aren't people of color. So we just want to make clear that that's why we're here, not because we just disagree that we think that the costume was offensive and that's why we're here. That's not the case.
And just to add to it a little bit, I think it's important for you to understand that one of the main problems with the article is that you like as a person that's white that wrote that, right? White people, like, this is not an attack on white people, but the white community has privilege, right? And has been in the position as an oppressor in this country historically. Whether you want it or not, you're born with it. When you're white, you need to understand that. It's the same way that males are born with male privilege. Towards women, males, we need to understand that we have privilege no matter what. Whether we're trying to respect women to the degree of no return, we're carrying privilege. So how would you feel like if I'm like and y'all I'm not even gonna get into that. We're gonna leave it. I'm not even gonna get into that because y'all have done this too. But like writing, like if a male wrote an article about rape and said, women should not be sensitive to this. Women should not be sensitive because it's not that serious, because it's like it's not happening that much no more. Some crazy nonsense. That would sound crazy. How is an oppressor going to tell the oppressed that you should not be sensitive to something? How it's like if somebody was coming to counseling and they was having a problem and you told them, yo, why are you being sensitive though? This happened over 100 years ago. This happened when you was a little kid. Why are you being sensitive? You cannot tell a person to not be sensitive to something because you're not even them. Not only are you not them, but you're not in the oppressed position to even try to fathom to begin how that might have offended people. So I'm thinking that that's a problem, but I'm also starting to think you're right is like they're not educated. They have no concept of the understanding of racism, what discrimination is, what bigotry is. They don't know anything about history because when you wrote that article, it sounds like a high school student who's never read any books wrote that article. They have no conceptualization of the understanding of race, period. Like, they don't know anything. When I'm telling people, they don't even want to believe somebody wrote that because it sounds that bad. And it was written poorly. Like, so it's kind of like, what is the staff in Pipe Dream doing? Like, what are the requirements to be on Pipe Dream? And if you can write an article of that caliber and publish it, she felt comfortable. She thought that was okay. And you thought that was okay. Now, that might just been that you don't know that, but we're telling you now so you can know that in the future. This, like, we don't want to be back here again, right? And it talks about inclusiveness. I need to include someone on your position if you're going to talk about something that's that serious. You cannot talk about the oppressor's position like that, like you're with them, because you're not with them. So if the person of color is not writing that article, there should not be race. You shouldn't have race in pipe dream unless a person of color is writing it, because you're not living that struggle. Not even you.
Okay, I think that at this point, anyone who is representing a group, a cultural group, or otherwise essay group.